voice of truth tells me a different story. I will choose to listen and believe the voice of truth.
My name is Dr. Cordie Williams, Health from Within Family Wellness Center, and what we're going to be talking about in this video is traction. Okay, so traction is going to be a process that you do in the office and that you do outside of the office. There's 4 different steps to traction. The first step is going to be the warm-ups, and there's yeses, nos, and maybes. The second step is the actual traction instrument, which is going to include either the ligasizer or the traction unit that you do at the office, or a traction device that we typically use in special circumstances called a posture pump. And there's 2 different types of posture pumps. There's one that's going to be just for the neck, and then one that is for the neck and the lower back as well. The third step that you're going to do after you do the physical traction, I'm going to demonstrate that in just a second, is going to be your strengthening exercises. Your posterior strengthening exercises are your chin tucks and your head hangs, where you actually hang your head back. I'm going to demonstrate all these. I'm just giving you a basic review of what we're going to be doing in the office and at home when we do traction. The 4th step you're going to do is going to be icing for 2 minutes, okay? So the way the warm-ups work, whether you're in the office or at home, is you're going to do yeses, nos, and maybes. You're going to do 10 of each. So the yeses are going to look like this. They're going to be up and down, just nice and easy. We're not forcing this at all, okay? This is an up and down process, just like this, all right? Just like we're saying yes or nodding. And then we're going to be doing no's, like this. Obviously, going to the right and the left is 1. And then we're going to be doing maybes. Left to right again, laterally. It's natural for your bones to make sounds during this. It's totally normal, because what we're doing as we activate the nervous system when you're on the table, which is the most important thing we do, everything that we're doing neurologically with this neurologically retraining exercise or 4 exercises called traction is all about setting in what the adjustment just did, okay? So the final thing that we'll do, I said yeses, we said nos, and then we said maybes. Okay, and that's actually the last one. That's the 3rd warm-up that you're going to do. Now you're warmed up. You did 10 of each, and now it's time to move on to the traction. All right, so when you set up traction, what you want to do when you're at home, we'll be showing you how to set the traction up on a door. But for the first 12 visits of your care plan, you're going to be doing it against the wall. So these devices actually go, and when you shut your door, the top of your door sill is going to just shut on that rope, and that rope has an attached weight to it, okay? But we've got this nice little bolted thingamajigger, I guess you could call it, in the office, and you don't have to do that here, okay? So the first thing we want to do when we're doing traction in the office at home is find a good height, okay? Find a good height that works for us, all right? So I'm going to demonstrate how to get into the traction unit, and I'm going to demonstrate how to tell whether you're at the right length for which you need to be doing the traction, meaning the relationship between the traction hanging against the wall or the door is, it's right for your body so that you can actually do the movement or the exercise, okay? So what we're going to be doing, we're just going to take the traction unit like this. You can see how much the traction unit is hanging down right now. It's got a lot of slack in it, and that's not necessarily bad other than the fact that just remember, if it's this low, I'm going to have to squat down lower. And if you're totally confused right now about what we're doing, I'm about to kind of shed some light on what I'm talking about. So for me, it's a little bit too short. I'd have to squat really low. It'd be great for my buns and my quads, but I don't want to go that low right now, so I'm not going to do that. What you can see is the first thing I want you to notice is how my feet are all the way against the wall, and they're about shoulder width apart. So as we put this behind our neck, in the middle of our neck, we want to make sure our feet are all the way against the wall and our feet are shoulder width apart. So I'm going to bring them shoulder width apart. They're all the way against the wall. And now the next step, after I make sure that this is in the middle of my neck and I make sure my feet are against the wall and they're shoulder width apart, is I want to measure where the unit is. I know it's roughly in the middle of my neck right now, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thumbs on each side of the traction unit. Now, when I put my thumbs here, I can kind of see in my peripheral, I'm looking at my pinky finger. if I can see my pinky fingers out of my left and right eye, the corners of my left and right eye, my peripheral vision, then I know that the traction unit behind here is even left to right from a rotational perspective. Does that make sense? So I'm right here. I know it's even from a rotational perspective. Now I'm going to put my forearms on the handles. This is only going to be a momentary thing that I do to hold the traction unit in place with my fingertips and my forearms as I squat down into the position. So notice how I'm squatting down, and if I didn't have my hands and wrist over the actual bar and on the traction unit, what do you think is going to happen to the traction unit when I squat down? It's going to move from the middle of the neck or cervical spine to up the cervical spine. I want it to be right in the middle. So I'm set. I've got my fingertips, my little hands right here. I'm squatting down, and now I'm bringing my hands on the handle, okay? My butt's out, and now I'm going from a bent position, and I'm staying in the tension. Notice how when I come up, I'm coming up, okay, from a squatted position where my butt is totally out to where I stay in the tension and I basically do a head nod. So I'm coming all the way down. Eyes are open through the entire process. Eyes are always open. So whether I was in the first step of traction with my warm-ups, whether I'm in the second step, which is the actual traction itself, or whether I'm doing posterior strengthening or head hangs, which is this third step, or whether I'm icing, I'm always going to have my eyes open, okay? So just to reiterate one more time, I dialed in with my thumbs. My feet are against the wall. They're about shoulder width apart. Now I'm squatting down, keeping this in the proper place. Once I squat as low as I possibly can, I move my hands from the little tube back here that's on my neck, that my neck rests on, all the way to the handles. And now you're going to feel a big stretch in your neck. And now I stay in the tension, come halfway up with my heels and halfway up with my neck. And I just go like this. You'll probably hear cracks. You'll hear all sorts of stuff. That means the body's changing and the neurology's changing. The big important thing to remember is I'm not doing this. I'm not coming down and then coming up. I'm not just going like this. That doesn't do anything. We have to go as low as you possibly can. So you want to get that butt out and go as low as you can. Stay in the tension and come up. Halfway with the legs, halfway with the chin. Coming down, up, okay? So that concludes traction as far as doing the actual movement itself. I'm not going to explain the posture pump today. What I do want to move towards now is the third step in traction, and what that's going to be is the posterior strengthening exercises and the head hangs. What we're going to utilize is a foam block or a foam roller. It doesn't matter which one you utilize, okay? What this is for is this is to block out the ribs, okay? In office, we're going to utilize something called vibration. And when you come to the vibration station, we want to turn this up all the way, okay? We want to have the vibration up all the way. It's going to sound like this. It should be like that. For filming purposes, I'm going to turn it down so that we can make sure that you guys can hear my voice. But I would have it all the way up. You're going to turn it all the way to the right. You're going to get on the vibration station, like so, and you're going to put this foam block behind your back. This foam block should be right up, basically the nape of your shoulder, okay? We call it T1 in the holistic neurological chiropractic world. We call this the T1 vertebra. And we want that foam block or that foam roller, if you have one of the longer ones that's about 3 to 4 feet. And in my intro video, in the stretching video, I recommend and I talk about which foam roller I think is the best, all right? You want to put this right at T1. Your arms are nice and relaxed. And now what you're doing is you're doing something called chin tucks and head hangs. A chin tuck looks like this. Straight back. You hold it for 10 seconds. You look like Beaker off the Muppets. Or you get to make your favorite double chin. It's very attractive. So you hold that for 10 seconds. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, so on and so forth. You're going to relax, and then just for a second, and then go back into it. Notice how the eyes are open, and each 4 steps of the traction, the eyes are open. I lower the foam block, and now I'm going to do head hangs. 10 seconds again. and you're going to do 5 of each. So I would do 5 chin tucks in a row, holding them for 10 seconds. I would do 5 head hangs in a row, holding them for 10 seconds. The final step in traction is, all right, so if I'm in office, I'm just stepping off of the vibration, putting my block back here. I'm going to shut off the vibration, and then what I'm going to do is reach in and get a pack of ice. You can use peas for this. You can use whatever you want. Just want an ice packet here. You're going to grab one of the towels and grab a timer, and you're going to put this ice on there for 2 minutes, okay? What I want you to remember about doing this is grab a timer, keep it on there 2 minutes. You don't want to be looking down while you're doing this. Always remember, cell phones need to be up, guys. So if you're in the waiting room and you're waiting to be adjusted, okay, start icing, have your cell phones up. If you are waiting to be adjusted and you do want to do traction, it's okay to do traction. Just make sure if you're doing it before you get adjusted, you don't ice till after you're adjusted. Okay? Really appreciate your time. I hope you learned something. Hope you have a great experience. Remember, with traction, what we're doing, our objective is for the first 12 visits, you're going to be adding 10 tractions. So on day 1 of doing traction in the office, you're going to be doing 10 tractions or 12 tractions. You'll add 10 for every office visit you have. On your 12th visit in here, you should be up to 120 because you added 10 every single day, and now you get your home traction unit. And now you get to do the 4 steps twice a day at home. So you go from doing 120 on a Tuesday, if that's when you got your traction unit, to on Wednesday now doing 130, and now you're doing 65 in the morning, 65 in the evening. All 4 steps are then at that point happening twice that day. So that's all I got for you today. God bless you. Have a great day. Take care.
But the voice of truth tells me a different story. I will choose